Hello and welcome to the Thread to Mend podcast. My name is Taylor and this is Starship Enterprise. We are coming to you from Baltimore, Maryland. It's been 2 weeks since I last recorded, and that's because I set my highest priority as finishing these two sweaters I knit for my sisters-in-law. I didn't hold on to them or have time to record a podcast before giving those sweaters away. I had 21 full days to knit them in time, and I finished each sweater in 8 days. I took a couple days off between sweaters to just relax, and I got those completed. I finished knitting, so we celebrated as a family on a Saturday, and I finished knitting the last sweater on a Friday night. I blocked them and I put a fan over those to dry overnight, and then I wove in all the ends to both sweaters on the drive there to give them to them. So I had literally no time unless I decided to vlog to show you these sweaters. I realize in retrospect I could have taken a quick video, but instead I took lots of photos, so I'm gonna insert photos of those sweaters here. So that's all I really knit for Christmas outside of Karen's sweater, which I completed before starting those other two. Her sweater was knit with my hand spun yarn from a Cordale fleece I bought at the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival in 2016. It's the first sweater I've knit from hand spun yarn, and I liked it a lot. It fits differently than the Telja sweaters. It's a different design. It's one I just made up. Raglan top-down, seamless, basic sweater, and I didn't have enough of one color to make it solid, so I introduced a striping effect, and I'll just insert a photo of that sweater right here. So those are my knitted Christmas gifts for 2017. I don't plan to knit gifts for 2018. I'd never done it before and I thought it was a lot of fun, but I've kind of lost myself in it. I don't even know what to knit now, even though I have projects going and I have sweater quantities in stock. So I just kind of feel a little lost. Like, what do I do now? So anyway, we'll see when the time comes if I knit again for winter. I do plan to knit my husband Brian a sweater this year, so whether that happens sooner or later, it's going to happen in 2018. I don't know if I'm going to spin the yarn for his sweater or buy commercial yarn. I think I showed him a pattern or something. We were talking about this. I asked him about what kind of yarn he would want in his sweater, and he said, I want it to look like carpet padding. And I know what he's talking about. What he means is woolen spun yarn that is dyed before it is carded. So Brooklyn tweed, like shelter, I think was like the exact yarn he was thinking about. And I was like, geez, do you really want that? Because it's expensive. And I think I can. I mean, I love Brooklyn tweed. I think it's great. I think that it's the brand name that makes it so valuable, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm just like not sure I want to buy a men's sweater quantity of Brooklyn tweed shelter, but I will if that's exactly what he wants. And yeah, I mean, why not, right? Okay, so I do have one acquisition to show you. It was a gift I asked for specifically, and it is a sweater quantity, a me-size sweater quantity of Elsa wool yarn. This is the fingering weight. It's 100% Cormo, grown in Montana, woolen spun, and it's a 2-ply yarn, and this is 4 ounces. There are 450 yards. This retails at $22 a skein, so although that is a high price point for 4 ounces, completely domestically produced, I think that is a pretty good price, considering you get that extra ½ ounce. It's really soft, it's really squishy. I think it's gonna make a really nice, lightweight and warm sweater. I don't have a pattern picked out for it. I think that this is the 10% gray. I don't know that the tag tells you what it is, but I think that's what I requested, and that's what this is. And I kid you not, I was searching on Ravelry for a sweater pattern for this, I think, and I kept coming across worsted weight or DK weight or sport weight sweaters, and I was on their website like planning to buy another sweater quantity just because I love the feel and the look of this so much. So if you are interested in a kind of fine wool but slightly rustic type yarn, I would highly recommend this. I say rustic because it looks like it could be, I know it's machine spun, but it has a slight look to it that resembles hand spun. I think because it has a high twist, and I love a high twist, and that's how I prefer to spin. I'm gonna see if I can get a close up of that, I'm not sure. I'm trying out a new camera angle this week because I realized the last 2 episodes I had the hardest time not looking into the screen instead of the camera, so I flipped my iPad around. I hope that is in focus for you. I also just have my iPad like leaning against a mirror, so I have like this much visibility on what you can see right now. We'll work that out. So I have, I guess collectively 3 times 450, 12, 1,350 yards. So that should be plenty of yarn. I really want to knit a dolman sleeve sweater. I have a cashmere dolman sleeve sweater that I inherited from my grandmother, and I just love the way it looks and feels. I really like, because I don't wash my hand knits frequently, maybe like every month at most. I know I don't wear them constantly. I kind of rotate them and let them air out. But what I love about a dolman sleeve is that it's never straight up against your armpit. So you kind of have a lot of breathing room, and if you're wearing something underneath the sweater, like that's gonna catch sweat before the sweater. So I just really like a dolman sleeve, and I wonder if I have enough yardage to knit a dolman sleeve with this. It's possible. I could knit a swatch and do some math, and I probably would if that's what I plan to use this for. I have now 3 sweater quantities of fingering weight yarn, and I have, I think probably more than that patterns planned that are all like worsted weight or DK weight. So I need to find some fingering weight sweater patterns that I want to knit. If you know of a fingering weight sweater pattern that you love, please share it in the comments below. I need inspiration, and I'd love to hear from you. So up next, I'm going to show you I think I've showed this to you in the past, but my fabric arrived, so I'm going to show you the fabric I picked out. This is the So Liberated Metamorphic dress pattern. It is a reversible sleeveless dress with pockets on both sides. So the dress she's wearing that's long sleeve is just a layer that's not part of the dress. And you can see that the 2 colors here in the blue are what is up. And I bought enough fabric in case I didn't like what arrived, because I did buy it online and sometimes you don't always know what you're getting. I bought 4 different linen cotton blends. This is just the 3rd time I'm recording this podcast. Okay, so I've showed you my quantity of Elsa wool yarn I received as a gift for Christmas. I've shown you the pattern of the metamorphic dress that I plan to make, and here is the fabric of that I bought off of fabric.com to sew that dress 2 times. This is Robert Kaufman's 50% cotton, 50% linen woven fabric. It is, I pre-washed it. It's very rustic, and it'll soften up for sure with more washing. And you always want to wash your fabric before you sew so that you can pre-shrink it. I bought 2.5 yards, which is a little bit underneath the suggested quantity to buy. It was an odd number, and I didn't want to buy an extra half a yard through the website. So just to save money, because I wanted to buy enough to make 2 in case I didn't love the color combination of 1, I just kind of doubled down and bought 2.5 yards of each. One of them I bought 3 because for some reason on the website it can be cheaper to buy 3 yards or 5 yards or whatever of individual fabrics. So the reason I felt comfortable buying a little bit beneath the suggested amount was because I pre-cut all my pieces and measured those, and 2.5 yards was a comfortable amount of salvage, and it was just a little bit shy of the suggested amount. I'm planning to sew this in the size 6. I can't remember the bust size for that, but that's what I plan to do. And I think I'm going to sew the 2 lighter colors together to make a lighter dress, and then the 2 darker colors together to make a more fall wintry dress. So I don't know exactly when I'm going to get to these. I think that I might use some vacation time to do a little staycation so that I can just intensely focus on my crafts. That's probably going to happen this winter, maybe this or next month, or perhaps closer to the end of February, where I might start to plan my garden for the year and start seeds and whatnot. It takes a lot of mental energy in the winter to know exactly what you want to grow and get that started, because I grow under lights in the basement. Okay, so that is tangent, and this is the fabric I plan to sew that dress with. I will keep you updated when that happens. Some other things I wanted to show you were a couple skeins I finished spinning. Now these are ones I've shown you before. These are part of a series of skeins I'm spinning with the same fleece, and all of these skeins have been dyed before they were spun. So the fiber is dyed and then they're spun up, and I just finished this one, which I made with this Cormo cross fleece that I dyed with goldenrod. Now the marled bits that you see here, those are just what was extra on a bobbin that I spun with the extra left over from the other bobbin. So those are separate. They're not going to be part of the skein. For some reason I didn't separate them before I took it off the nitty knotty, but yeah, this is I'm gonna guess it's close to fingering weight. It's kind of on the border of lace weight. I'm just spinning thinner and thinner, almost on accident, because I can't anticipate how much it's gonna bloom when it's been washed and dried. So this came out to about 95 grams, and I decided to take a break from my hand combed fiber to spin a braid, just because I see so many like wild colored skeins out there on Instagram that I admire, and I grabbed a braid that was 4 ounces, and I thought my intention is to spin a whole 100-gram skein, because all of these skeins, like, they're always under 100. And anyway, I was like so typically what I do, or at least what I've done, and it worked out really well, like almost to the inch, is that I take the braid and unbraid it, and then I fold it in half, and that's where I break it into 2 separate amounts to spin on 2 separate bobbins to ply together. And for some reason I didn't even think to do that. I pulled out my scale and I measured 52 grams, and then that's where I broke it. And 52 is not half of 115. So I have a bobbin with like 20 grams of this fiber on it in a single ply that I don't know what to do with, except that I'm just gonna end up spinning another little sample amount. This is a fiber dye experiment. It came out like almost the same color as something else, but technically it was different, so I kept it separate because it is a little dirtier looking. It was anyway, I'll probably spin this and make a marled yarn. But this came out really cool. It's only 95 grams. Not a big deal. I think I said that. But let's see. Can you... open it up. I'm going to insert a photo of what the fiber looked like before I spun it up. It's definitely worsted prep. It's almost way over spun in the singles, and then a little over plied in the plying, which I prefer when I spin. It makes a nice sturdy yarn. And so even though I've never knit I've never knit a pair of socks with 2-ply yarn, that's what I plan to do with this. It's going to be my little bit of an experiment on whether one ought to knit socks with 2-ply yarn. If you have, let me know how it turned out, whether you ever developed holes in your socks. I'm pretty hard wearing on my socks. I work in a yoga studio, so I never wear shoes to help us keep the floors clean. And I just wear my socks on the bare floor like most of my life. Like I wear my shoes to walk into work and out of work, and that's about it. So there's that. I have a giveaway, and I want to share that with you now. I have prepared this fiber, and I don't know why I'm giving it away, except that I want to say thank you. This is hand dyed, hand combed Cormo cross. If you can see the pink fiber on my shelf there, that I dyed with pokeberries, and this was in the same dye bath, except that the fiber is gray, and I over dyed it with pokeberries. Now the raw fleece is this fiber here. You can see that the tips are bleached. It's a really super soft, very bouncy, fine wool. Not a lot of tippiness at all, not a lot of double cuts to it, but it's already pre-combed, and it's ready to go. And I wanted to offer this to you guys as a thank you for watching and subscribing, and maybe getting our channel here out to a larger community. So if you want to be entered to win, there's 3 bags of this. It's 148 grams of hand combed and hand dyed Cormo cross fiber. All you have to do is like this video, comment below anything you want, and subscribe to my channel. And if you share my channel, that is even a bigger bonus because you're letting your friends know what they can win. So this might be one of the only giveaways I do for a while. I just don't have things for sale. I don't promote products here on my channel. I just share the love for fiber, and I wanted to give you all a prize. Oh, wait, I have a shawl to show you. Did I show you my shawl? Did I show my shawl? Show my shawl? This is my rain shawl. The last time we recorded, I knit up to here. I realized I made a mistake here, and then on the Saturday after Christmas, I ripped back and I re-knit through here. Not all on the same day, but yeah. So I'm excited to have this almost done. It's maybe 75% of the way done. Wow, these shawls work up so fast when there's so few stitches, and then you get towards the end and it takes so long to get through a row. And this pattern is not like this pattern repeat. I've done maybe one time, not even, and well, I've had to like rip back and redo it, and it's just not, I haven't memorized it, so I'm not in the groove on this project part. But I do plan to finish this before I see you again. I definitely need to finish a shawl so that I have one to wear. It's cold outside. And I think that's everything. It's everything to show you. So again, have a great day, and I'll see you soon.